Hey, what's up guys? Dan here again, and today we're going to talk about how to start selling on Amazon FBA. Maybe you've heard about Amazon FBA, maybe you're watching some YouTube videos about it, and maybe you're just searching for a way out into the freedom lifestyle. Maybe you're dreaming of that passive income lifestyle and you want to start an online business and quit your 9-to-5 job, but you're just in that research phase and you're trying to figure out what's the best way to do so. And so in this video, I'm going to break down every single thing you need to know to be successful at selling on Amazon FBA in 2018. And this is actually a completely updated guide on every single thing you need to know. We're going to go step by step, from finding the product, talking to suppliers, what kind of products you should be looking for, and also the best ways to actually become successful on Amazon FBA, and what's changed and things like that, because Amazon is constantly changing, the internet is constantly changing, and that's why I wanted to bring you guys this updated guide to selling products on Amazon FBA. So let's get right into it. So the very first thing, what is Amazon FBA? So Amazon FBA, it basically stands for Fulfillment by Amazon, and it's a program that Amazon has created a while ago. Actually, it's been around for a while. Like, selling on Amazon is not a new thing. It's just been growing recently because, I guess, passive income, and people are getting tired, fed up from their 9-to-5. They really just want to quit their job and go travel the world, never see their boss again, never have to wake up to an alarm clock again, and really fulfill their potential, live an epic life. I think that's been growing in, it's been trending recently, and that's why things like Amazon FBA and also drop shipping and e-commerce have been growing. And so it's awesome because with Amazon, it's truly passive income because all you need is a computer and an internet connection. And you can literally do this from anywhere in the world, as long as you are in Amazon's list of accepted countries, right? So, and Amazon accepts a lot of countries out there. Most countries are accepted, and so if you're not on the list of accepted countries, you're gonna that country's gonna eventually get in there into that list. So you have nothing to worry about. You won't miss out on anything. So essentially, what you do is you find a product that is already successful on Amazon. And this is the key. You go and you figure out a way to either make it premium, add some kind of value, solve a problem that, maybe people are leaving negative reviews on existing products, and you go out there and you really just, do real entrepreneurship and you add value and you differentiate. And then what you do is you find that product on a site called Alibaba.com, right? And pretty much that's the largest site in the world for Chinese suppliers. And there's a ton of suppliers on there. There are literally like millions of suppliers. Any kind of product you want to source, it's there. And all you got to do is you find the product, you talk to the supplier, you buy it from the supplier ships it, your first initial test order, right? So we're going to get into that, what a test order is and things like that. So you ship that to, you have your supplier ship it directly to the Amazon warehouse. So supplier to Amazon warehouse, it goes direct. So it doesn't even go to your house. So as you can see, and if it's successful, all you got to do is reorder your product and respond to customers and things like that. And then Amazon actually will do all of the returns, they'll do all the refunds, they'll do all the packaging for you in terms of sending it out from the Amazon warehouse to your customer. And they're going to do all that other good stuff. And basically that allows you to travel the world, that allows you to live your dream life, whether it is being able to not work a job and still make money and become self-reliant, right, which is huge in today's world. And so that's why I believe that Amazon FBA is one of the lowest hanging fruits of the tree in terms of an online business. And if I was just starting out right now, actually my first successful online business was Amazon FBA. That's essentially what changed my life. If you go and look at my channel, there's just a ton of Amazon FBA content. But don't go anywhere yet, because in this video, I'm really going to break it down for you, and I'm going to give you guys the keys to success on Amazon, completely updated in 2018 right now. Okay, so don't go anywhere. Let's get into it. So the very first thing you need to do is product research. What product research is we just talked about it, it's finding a product. And the best product research tool, in my opinion, that I've used, and that I objectively say this is the best product research tool, because literally, like, since the beginning, I've used it and it just works amazingly, and it's called Jungle Scout. And for Jungle Scout, there are two tools that you need, okay? So the first tool is the Jungle Scout Chrome extension, and that's a one-time fee. And then the second tool is the Jungle Scout web app. And basically with the Jungle Scout web app, it's a month-to-month subscription. And I recommend just signing up for 1 month, doing your product research, and then if you want, you can cancel. So there's literally no risk or anything like that, right? For the months that you're not doing product research, why pay for it? So I've pretty much stayed signed up for both. I mean, the Chrome extension is a one-time fee. So I recommend the one for $197 because it gives you the most data, and it also gives you the opportunity score, which is huge if you're a beginner. And it really helps you out. It actually ranks a niche. When you're searching for products, it ranks a product between 1 to 10. And obviously, a 6, 7, 6 not so much, but 7, 8, 9, 10, those are the better numbers, and it shows you, it's probably a good product to do. Again, it's very helpful to beginners at Amazon FBA, those that are just trying to find a product. So once you have those tools, right, you really don't need anything else for product research. you have access to the product database in the Jungle Scout monthly app, and also with the Chrome extension, basically, you look for products in that database, and then you find products in there, and then you can go and pull it up in the Chrome extension, and that gives you two different points of data where you can compare the data from the Jungle Scout Chrome extension and the Jungle Scout web app. So that's why I highly recommend both, and it's what I've used to build a booming Amazon FBA business. And truly, Amazon FBA has changed my entire life. I've been trying to find different I literally have done everything under the sun in terms of online business. I've tried social media marketing, I tried crypto, I tried all these kinds of things, and I wasn't committed. But once I found out about Amazon FBA, I started watching videos just like you guys are watching this video, and I got excited, and then I realized that it was something that I could do that would allow me to, my goal at the time was to travel and make money while doing it, right? And not have to work a job. Okay, that was huge as well. So I didn't want to just constantly travel. I also wanted like a foot in the door into entrepreneurship, and that's what so many people and so many of you watching are looking for. So that's why I'm excited to bring you guys this video. So now once you have Jungle Scout, now we're going to get into the criteria, okay? And for Amazon FBA, this is the traditional criteria. This is what everybody tells you, like a product should be. But I'll tell you, why you should go one step further in front of everybody else, right? Because that's where the real gold is. That's where the real, money makers are and the real successes. So basically, everybody says find a product that fits in a shoebox, is not, too heavy, is not too big. And this is obviously your product from China that you're going to source. So, and the product has to have a minimum price of about, $11 to $12, because anything under that just really doesn't have any kind of a profit. So yeah, minimum price $11 to $12, and then maximum price, there really is no maximum, but when you're starting out, I would definitely say you're not going to find a product that's cheap to source that you can sell over $30 or $35, right? You're not going to find a product that's like $1 per unit from China that you can sell for $20 or $30, right? It's very rare, but it is possible, right? Especially if you differentiate and you add value like I'm going to talk about in this video. So that's the essential criteria, $11 to $12 with all the way up to $35 for your first product, if you can find a product at that range, because that's where the real profit is. Now the next thing is that the product has to already be successful on the market. So there has to be, there have to be sellers out there that don't have way too many reviews, that don't have like 10,000 reviews, that are already making 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 a month, even 30 and above a month, right? So you can see that with the Jungle Scout Chrome extension. If you pull up your Jungle Scout Chrome extension on a product or on a niche that's, the top seller is making like 6K or 4K a month, it could be worth it, especially if there aren't any reviews on it, because it shows that there is still a possibility for you to get in there and still make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month, which is like still life-changing money, especially when you haven't made a single dollar online and your whole goal is to just start your passive income business. So you gotta like realize that as well. Don't try to aim for like the stars when you haven't even gone to the moon yet. You gotta like go step by step. But anyway, there have to be sellers in your niche or in your product that are already making money with your product. So the next thing is that your product can't be restricted. It can't be like a liquid or a consumable, because you really can't import that stuff from China to America. You can't have like a cream, that you sell in America that you're going to import from China without even checking it, right? Obviously you're not going to source like a face cream because you don't know if the supplier is going to, put hydrochloric acid into it, and then you're going to burn a bunch of people's faces, right? So you don't want to do that. So have some common sense about it. You're sourcing things from China. Then again, you can source things like that from America, and we're going to cover that as well in this video later. And that's also a great way to differentiate in terms of, cosmetics and creams and stuff like that. If you have the courage to do that. So so make sure it's not restricted, and check out the Amazon restricted products list. And so if your product is not restricted, and if it's not a consumable or anything like that, that's awesome. And if it's already making money in your niche, if there is enough of a demand, that's like the revenue, the monthly revenue. Look at the revenue, not the sales. That's just what I prefer. If there are sellers in your niche making 10, 20, 30,000 a month, that's awesome. And now for the reviews. So for the reviews, you can have a seller in your niche, with 1,000 reviews. I would even say 2 sellers in your niche with 1,000 reviews, but not more than that. And the reason why you don't want, sellers with too many reviews is because, you're going to be getting in there, and it's going to take some work to get those initial reviews and that initial momentum. So, you might get like 10 reviews, 20 reviews, but when you're trying to compete against sellers with 10,000 reviews, obviously you're not going to, make much money. But reviews don't actually matter as much as you guys think, especially with Amazon in 2018. They used to matter more, and now it's like you can literally have a product with 7 or 12 reviews, especially once you get into the double digits of reviews, and you can compete against a product with 700 reviews, especially if you differentiate and you add value, like I said in this video, right? So not more than 2 sellers in your niche with 1,000 reviews, And you can have, sellers with hundreds of reviews, right? And also another great tip is to look in your niche and see whether there are, sellers that have just started. Maybe they have 32 reviews or 40 reviews, so they've been selling for a couple months now probably. And if they're not making any money, that just shows you that it's probably not a good product to do unless you add value. So, that just shows you that that product that they're doing, if you do the exact same product, is probably not a good idea, because they've already gone that way. They've already paved the path, and, clearly the path hasn't led to success. So, you got to look at what's worked and what hasn't worked for other sellers, and you've got to learn from it. You've got to use your common sense, okay? And that's entrepreneurship, that's online business. Now, for product weight, usually, the criteria is you don't want a product that's heavier than 1.5 pounds per unit. Again, if you find a product that's like 3 pounds per unit or 5 pounds per unit, you already know that nobody's doing it. Most people, as soon as they see one challenge, let's say they're trying to source a product, and let's say it's a little bit on the big side, they would rather abandon the product. They would rather just find something else instead of figuring out, wait a second, can this be a good opportunity to sell a product and make money? So what I always say is to make sure that if your product, let's say, even is glass, right? A lot of people don't like glass because it will break during shipping. If your product is a glass product, well, if you can figure out with your supplier how to properly ship it to, America, if that's where you're selling, or any other Amazon marketplace in the world, you can actually sell on any of them. If you can figure out how to do that with your supplier, then by all means do it, because there are higher barriers to entry. So the main key with Amazon FBA, and this is golden right here, is the products with the higher barriers to entry, okay? If you're trying to do like fidget spinners, if you guys were around, when I was first starting to sell on Amazon in early 2017, like fidget spinners were the craze, and you literally could just go on Alibaba, source fidget spinners and sell them, and you'd make a ton of money. Well, it's not like that anymore, and also it's not real entrepreneurship, because you're just selling, a piece of crap, right? So you don't want to do that, and you want to actually, solve a problem, okay? And now the final part, and probably one of the most important parts of product research, if not the most important part, is making sure that your product has a profit. Now, if your product profit per unit is like below $5, then don't even do it, because you're not going to make any money. It's going to take you, you're going to have to sell so many more units to make the same amount of money to reach your passive income goals than a seller that is selling a product at $10 or $15 profit per unit. Anything above $10 profit per unit is usually on the rarer side, but you still can do it, like I said, if you add value and if you differentiate, because the Amazon algorithm, nobody actually knows the Amazon algorithm. If you look at Jungle Scout and all these other tools, they might claim that they know the Amazon algorithm, but even they say that nobody actually knows it. But one thing is for sure, that recently Amazon actually prefers sellers that add real value and differentiate, because if you do, Amazon's actually going to rank you on the first page without using a launch service, which we're going to get into later in this video. So that covers the product research section of selling on Amazon. So it's nothing too hard. If you guys feel like you're super overwhelmed or something, you have zero experience with online business, just leave a comment right down below, and I'll be happy to answer you guys like personally. I go personally in the comments and I answer every single person in there. So yeah, just leave a comment, let me know, like what's up, like why is it, why do you think that there are sellers out there who are in the exact same spot as you, and they're doing it and they're killing it, and they're making hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars a year, and tell me why you can't do it, because you can. And so I want to prove it to you that you can, and anybody watching this video can, with proper dedication and effort. Now, step 2, once you've found your product, now it's time to contact the supplier. So finding a supplier is very important. Obviously, you need to make sure that your supplier is dedicated to you, is loyal to you, and is not going to kind of cheat you, because obviously with China, things can be sketchy. They kind of have that stereotype of like the factories produce cheap quality stuff, and they might try to kind of like give you lower quality items than you paid for. But in reality, China has actually gotten a lot better recently because of Amazon FBA and drop shipping and things like that, because they know that if they try to lie to you and if they try to send you bad product or like counterfeit product, then you're just not going to have repeat business with them, and that's what their whole business is structured on, repeat business. Okay, so when you find a supplier, you go on www.alibaba.com, and then you make sure you tick on Gold Supplier, and you can also tick on Assessed supplier. Now, assessed supplier is not a necessity, although I would recommend it, because then you'll be able to find suppliers that have been pre-inspected by Alibaba, so you don't have to go and send your own inspection agency or your own inspector, because that costs money, and so they basically eliminated a step for you. So yeah, trade assurance, you can also take that, because then you know that they've enrolled for trade assurance, which is a program by Alibaba that protects you, and you can get your money back. And so when you're finding a supplier, you want to basically send them a message, And so there's a template that you send to your supplier, and you basically, explain to them exactly what you want, how many units you're looking to order, and typically your first test order is going to be anywhere between 250 units to all the way up to 1,000 units, right? So 1,000 units is obviously on the braver side if you have more confidence in your niche. But if you don't, then you'd probably get like 300 units or 400 units, accounting for a giveaway, right, as well, which we're going to talk about later. So 300 or 400 is a great start. So I actually include that template in the Amazon Freedom course, and the link for that is right down below. And basically, if you join, you get my one-on-one mentorship, and you're going to be able to ask me any questions you guys have with Amazon FBA, but also passive income. You basically get me as a mentor for life. So entrepreneurship, anything like that, anything you want to ask me, you can go ahead and ask me on my personal Facebook profile. And so basically, I answer every single day to any questions that I get. So the link for that is right down below. You also get the template and everything else that you need to begin. And so I would recommend contacting between at least 3 suppliers, but I would say the magic number is 5 suppliers. So once you contact the 5 suppliers, you send out the sequence, you try to add all of them onto WhatsApp, okay? Because I use WhatsApp to contact my suppliers. Also, some of them might have problems with WhatsApp, so you might use WeChat. It's basically, kind of like the Chinese version of WhatsApp, and so it's their own chat messenger. And so essentially, you talk to them there, and the first thing you do is you ask them for an invoice with all the shipping costs and everything. You give them any address in the United States or wherever you want to sell. It doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter where as long as it's in the country. And you ask them for DDP shipping, okay? DDP is delivered duties paid. And what DDP shipping is essentially, they cover the customs fees, because obviously when you import a product from outside the United States, or any other country, you're gonna have to pay customs duties. That's how governments make money, right? And so essentially, if there's no one to pay that customs duty, customs is not gonna let the product go into the country. And you don't wanna do that. You don't want your product to just get lost and all your money's gone. So you ask your supplier for DDP shipping, and basically what that does is, if there are any customs duties, your supplier will pay for them and they'll invoice you, and then you cover the costs as well. Some of them might not wanna do DDP shipping, so I recommend doing DHL or FedEx, because if there are any customs duties, they don't wanna do DDP shipping, then you can just call FedEx and DHL, if your product is stuck in customs, and then you're able to pay directly to them because they use their own customs brokers. So shipping methods, I highly recommend air shipping, so FedEx, DHL, or UPS is just the fastest. There's the least amount of headache. I've actually never done sea shipping a single time, because sea shipping is just annoying. It takes way too long, and it actually can take up to a month and a half for your product to get into Amazon, and by that time, you don't know what's gonna happen, whether more competition is gonna get in and things like that, right? So obviously, you hope that that's not the case, but that's why you do air shipping, because it's gonna be a lot less time, maybe a couple weeks for your product to get into Amazon from the time that you purchase it from your supplier. And the reason why we contact multiple suppliers is because you wanna make sure that you're getting accurate prices, because that way you can compare the invoices that you get from everybody. And if someone has a shipping price of like 1,000 and the other supplier has a shipping price of 500 for the exact same DHL shipping, that the supplier that's sending you the shipping invoice of 1,000, that it's not true. So there we go. That's why you do 5, and that's actually a great hack that not a lot of people know about. They only contact one supplier and they have no idea whether the numbers they can trust the numbers or not. So there you go. Now number 3, differentiation or adding value. Now this you can do with your supplier, and some great ways to do this is to just get into the shoes of your customer, okay? Let's say you are selling, let's say you're selling barbecue gloves, all right? So let's say, your target market. Who is your target market? People that like to barbecue. So, maybe like, dads or something like that, or, families. And so you try to get into the shoes of your customer, and you try to figure out exactly what they want, what their pains are, what their needs are, what their wants are, and what their fears are, all right? It's just basic marketing. And if you can figure that out, then you can look at any product in the niche and what to add, to the product. And actually, Chinese suppliers are more than willing and more than happy to work with you to, change the product up a little bit to make it a lot better. And that's how you can get in there and charge a higher price than the rest of your competition, and not even worry about your competition, because, then you're going to be building a brand. And so now this takes us to the other part of differentiation, which is huge: private labeling. Okay, so this whole thing has been a video on private labeling. What private labeling is you take that product, that you're going to sell, and you put your own logo on it that, you can just create yourself, or you can buy it from Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com is an awesome website. I've used it a lot to buy my own logos and things like that. It's literally $5 or $10 a logo. So Fiverr.com, you guys can go and check it out. And if you guys don't have any graphic design, background or anything like that. And so as soon as you put a logo on your product, and please put a logo on your product, even on your first order, make sure it's customized. The worst thing you can do is try to make your product a direct copy of, like someone else on Amazon with no logo, with nothing else. Okay, so just make sure you put a logo on it, and that's another way to differentiate. And now some other ways of differentiating are looking at negative reviews from your competitors, seeing the designs that aren't selling and not doing those, and seeing the designs that are selling and doing those, and maybe adding a little bit of value. You can also add an ebook. You can also add thank you inserts, thank you cards, and all this stuff. Like I said, I go literally in depth, and I show you piece by piece in the Amazon Freedom course, which the link for that is right down below. So pretty much, there's so many ways that you can differentiate. It's just painful to see that so many Amazon sellers get stuck in these basic mistakes, and it costs them thousands of dollars. That's the whole point of investing into a mentor and a course, because then, instead of going and investing into a product that's restricted, or not differentiating, or not putting a logo on it, you'd be mind blown at the amount of new sellers that I see not putting a logo on their product. And even like students, like from the Amazon Freedom course, like, Dan, is it okay if I just don't do a logo on my first product? Because it is a little bit more expensive. It's just a couple more cents per unit with your supplier usually. Sometimes they'll even throw it in for free. And I'm like, no, like, dude, like, man, put a logo on it, because if you don't, then what is separating someone else from just copying your product and putting it on there, right? If somebody can go and literally just copy your business in 30 minutes, then that's a problem, all right? So that's the whole point of differentiating. And now the last part of differentiating is creating a listing on Amazon, which is our next step. So there are a couple important factors here. Product title. You want to make sure that your product title is great. It's optimized. It's got the keywords in there, because that's how it ranks on Amazon. It's just basic SEO, if you know what that is, search engine optimization. And next, you want to have amazing pictures. Pictures are everything on Amazon, especially your first picture. You want to make sure that you have 2 pictures on a white background, 2 pictures of the product either in use, or like with like the kit or whatever, if there's a kit in there, or with a cool background. And then you also want maybe a couple pictures at the end with like the bonuses that you're offering, maybe like the thank you cards, or maybe you're offering the free ebook and things like that. And now the next thing are the bullet points. You want to make sure that your bullet points are descriptive and also are perfectly written in great English, or whatever marketplace you're selling in. Let's say you're selling on Amazon Germany, then make sure it's in German, like actual great German. If you don't know how to speak German, you can go on Fiverr, you can hire a translator there. They'll write some great copy for you. It's called copywriting. And also you got the product description. And there is a specific way of doing this, which I show in the Amazon Freedom course, of course. But if you have an amazing listing, if you really make it better than everybody else, than your competition, even with less reviews, you will get all the sales. You will get most of the profit, especially if you followed all the advice in this video, and if you added value, and if you differentiated, and if you really, did real entrepreneurship, and you're not just selling fidget spinners or some random, as seen on TV product with no logo and nothing like that on it, okay? Now the next thing, and I almost forgot, is patents. Okay, you want to make sure your product is not patented and it's not trademarked. And it's very easy to check. You can actually hire someone on Fiverr to check for patents, right? It's like $10, right? You can pretty much do anything on Fiverr, as you can see. But, you go on Google Patents, okay? So the link should be right here, patents.google.com. And then for trademarks, it's USPTO, basic trademark search. What a patent is, a lot of you might not know. Essentially, somebody, decided that they created a certain design, right? You can't just patent like, a tea kettle. You can't just patent that, but you can patent a certain design of a tea kettle. So let's say someone invented a certain design of a tea kettle, then they decided to patent it. That means that nobody else can sell that design of a tea kettle, that specific design, other than them. So you want to make sure that your product specific design is not patented. And then you also want to make sure that the name that you're going to use for your product brand, someone in your exact niche isn't already using that name. And that's the point of the trademark search. So now the best way to get reviews, and I would highly, highly recommend, if you have any friends or family in your target, market where you're selling it, in the Amazon marketplace where you're selling it, if you have, anybody that that is not living in the same address as you, that doesn't share the same last name as you, and doesn't use the same computers as you do, maybe friends of friends or anything like that, maybe you're part of a community, you're part of a church, and you can, get some people to help you out. That's the best way of getting those initial reviews. You can still use Facebook review groups, any review group, if you go on Facebook, you type in like Facebook Review Club and things like that. Any of those with 10,000 plus people, any of those are good, but you want to make sure that when you're posting, your little message in there for, asking for reviews, do not reveal your product, just like ask for reviews, and make sure that, you write in that post, do not comment or like this post, because that way, it's potential that Amazon might detect it or anything like that. If they private message you, there's no way that Amazon can detect it. Guys, like, use common sense. Is there really a way, like in private messaging between person A and person B, that Amazon can go into your private messages? Why would Facebook give Amazon that data, right? They're two separate companies. It just doesn't make sense. So as long as you use common sense to get those reviews, you'll be golden. And now here's a hack, guys. The best way to get reviews now, even more than ever before, is having an amazing email sequence. All right. And I actually have a video covering this on my channel, how to get a ton of reviews in 7 days. It's talking about the jump send email sequence. And essentially what an email sequence is, when somebody buys your product, you want to make sure that you're sending them out emails that are automated. You're not actually writing them. You write them once, for everybody, and that's it. You don't have to write them again anymore. And then every time someone buys your product on Amazon, they get a sequence of emails. First the email being like, thank you for ordering, and then essentially it gets to the email where they're asking for a review politely. And so obviously not everybody's going to get those emails, and not everybody's actually going to go and leave a review from the email sequences. But it's the best way of getting reviews organically that are not going to put your product at risk. And it might take a little longer time, but is it really that bad? Let's say instead of a month, let's say you're making your dream passive income goal in 6 months. Is it really that bad? It's not that bad, right? You just gotta have some patience. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It takes patience, and it takes commitment in yourself and taking action. And if you're one of those people that just watches these kind of videos and you're lazy as hell and you're just a leecher, you're a leecher of value, and you just want to spread your negative beliefs, your negativity on everybody, just close this video right now. Go watch something else. Go watch some funny cat videos. There's a whole other part of YouTube for you, right? If you just want to go and waste your life, but I believe that if you're not that person, if you are an action taker, and if you really, really believe in yourself, and you're really trying to figure out, a way to live that dream life, then you've got to, do what I say, and you've got to really just do it, right? The Nike slogan, just do it. So those are the best ways of getting reviews. Now for a product launch. So essentially, if you're selling a product and you've added value and differentiated, like I said, Amazon's going to push you naturally to the first page. You can use PPC, and that's Amazon PPC, it's pay-per-click. And it basically, if you've searched for something on Amazon and you've seen that sponsored product at the top of the page, that's Amazon PPC. And so essentially, Amazon is going to actually put your product at the top if you bid high enough. And if somebody clicks, you pay Amazon, $1 or $1.50 or whatever your bid is. And that's a great way of getting those reviews at the beginning as well and getting those initial sales. So I recommend, if you've added value, just run PPC with a budget of about $25 a day for about 5 to 7 days. Pull that search term report and then look in the search term report. And by the way, it's an automatic broad match PPC campaign, okay? So that's all you gotta know, automatic broad match PPC campaign. I go way more into depth on PPC, like showing you exactly and breaking down the art of PPC, because it really is an art, in the Freedom course, right? And that's right down below. But just to begin, all you need to know is auto PPC campaign to launch your product. That's gonna slowly move your product to the first page. All right, and now the next thing, if that doesn't work, then I recommend using a service like Viral Launch. And what Viral Launch is, it's literally like a boost for your product that goes from page 50 to where nobody's finding it. Nobody goes past page 1 on Amazon. So it boosts your product to page 1, and you got to run a product giveaway for that. So essentially, they find let's say 10 or 20 people for you every single day for 7 days to buy your product, and that fools the Amazon algorithm and makes Amazon believe that you're selling your product, which ranks it on the first page. Now, like I said, if you've added value and you've differentiated, then you probably won't need to do the launch, right? Because a launch, does cost some money when you're starting out. It's a one-time fee. But all you need to know is that if you search your product on Amazon and it's like literally the exact same thing over and over again, but yours is slightly different, that Amazon's going to push your product on the first page. So you probably won't have to do a launch, all right? And so that gives you more motivation to actually add value to your product. And now the last part is just putting everything together and building a 6-figure, 7-figure brand. So basically, when you have a product and it's successful, you've added value, right? Now you've established an asset, which is your brand, and people start recognizing your brand on Amazon and online. Now you can go and sell another product in your niche, and you look at competitors' stores on Amazon. You look at different kinds of products that are being sold to the same target market that you're selling to, and you add them to your store. And slowly you get from 1 product to 2 products to 3 products to 5 products to 7 products. And then essentially that's a 6-figure, 7-figure brand. And then you can take that and you can sell it on other things like Shopify, which is super powerful. When you combine Amazon FBA and Shopify dropshipping, I'm sure you've heard of Shopify, that's the real gold right there. That's the real power, because with Shopify, you control your customer. On Amazon, Amazon still owns your customer, because you don't get things like customer emails and things like that. You do have your email sequence, but it's not the same thing. You're not able to just randomly send a promotion out to your customers. But on Shopify, you're able to. So when you combine both of them, right, and I recommend only focusing on one of them, by the way, until you master one of them. Don't try to do both at the same time, right? So once you've got proven products on Amazon that are selling, take those and put them on Shopify, and vice versa, right? So there you go. That's how you build a 6- to 7-figure brand. And then obviously comes in social media pages, Facebook pages, Twitter pages, Pinterest, all that kind of good stuff. And that's essentially how big brands like Gymshark, Movement Watches, all these things were built, right? These are more on Shopify, not on Amazon, but you're gonna see pretty much the same brands on Amazon and Shopify, right? So that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys got a better understanding of how to sell on Amazon FBA. And now it might be very confusing, I know, especially if you've just started researching, but guys, the most important thing is taking action. If you're just watching this video and you're just gonna keep watching 10 million other Amazon videos, right? In between, you're gonna watch like a cat video or whatever, you're not gonna get anywhere, okay? In a month or 2 months. Meanwhile, some people are taking action today, right after this video, they're joining the Amazon Freedom course and they're joining the mentorship with me and they're pulling the trigger on their first product, they're doing the product research. Those people in 2 to 3 months, imagine how much further they're gonna be ahead than the people that are there right now that decide to just not do anything and that decide to just keep postponing the inevitable, right? So, the fastest way, one of my biggest mentors told me, the fastest way of getting to your dream goal or to your final goal is instead of going from point A to B to C to D to E, let's say you want to get to point E, just go straight from A to E. Why would you waste time going in zigzags in between? So take action today, put consistent effort into it, and I promise to you, if you believe in yourself and if you just, if you just figure out what the successful sellers are doing, if you've got your formula, if you've invested in the course, you will succeed without a doubt. All right, so just make sure you really put an effort into it. If you go to the gym and you purchase 10 personal training sessions, right, but you only go to 2 of them, and then you start complaining about why you're still fat or why you're not fit, you don't have no right to complain because you literally put in 0 effort. Okay, so it's all up to you. I can show you the way, but I can't do it for you, all right? I wish I could because, I wish then I could have the magical power of making anyone I want successful, and that would be awesome, then I'd make everybody successful. But because I genuinely want people to be successful, I don't believe that it's right that so many people, live their lives without knowing their true potential. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this. Follow me on social media, Instagram and Snapchat. A ton of amazing stuff coming up. Shopify dropshipping, Amazon FBA, also e-commerce, passive income, and also mindset. Also check out the Dan Vas Show, the best #1 podcast for young entrepreneurs and old, any age. We talk about the best online income streams, the best tactics, and also mindset, the millionaire mindset, how to overcome negative beliefs, how to learn to control your mind, and also coming up amazing interviews with other entrepreneurs, some of my awesome friends that are multimillionaires as well. So the links for all that are below, as well as the Amazon Freedom course and my mentorship. So if you join that, make sure you Facebook message me, all right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully it's on the successful side and you can come back to this video. You can leave a comment right down below. You can be like, hey Dan, I killed it. I'm living my passive income life, and I can feature you as a success story. So once again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys soon.